Hi, this is Rob Grosboll with the Painter's House. I'd like to welcome you to a new episode. Today we're going to be spraying it outside. We have prepped it, and if you didn't get a chance to see that video, you can check that out. Google word search Rob Grosboll or pressure washing or whatever. But the first thing we did is we pressure washed everything. The next thing we did is we went through and we primed everything, and then today we're actually going to go through and demonstrate how to spray an exterior. And to help me with this, I've invited my brother, who is Eric Grosboll. This is business. E2 Enterprises. Eric's had a lot of experience on the outsides, and he has some general knowledge he'd like to share with you this time.
Well, you know, as Rob said, the important thing going through is the prep work, getting it primed, caulked, getting it ready to paint. Now it's time for the fun part, just a good quality exterior paint, and a couple coats on there should do the trick. So,
Eric, is there a particular brand of paint that you use?
I use Diamond Vogel paints. Yeah, I've used them for probably about 5 years now that I've had my own business, and they're great guys, great products. I use it on my own house, and really wouldn't recommend anything else at this point.
That's awesome. So, okay, Eric, now if you had to gauge the importance of the prep work versus the actual finish coat, which do you think is going to be the more important steps?
Well, I think you got to prep the house right. So if you get good paint and you haven't prepped the house correctly, then you're more likely to have problems with paint flaking off, just not lasting as long as it should. So the preparation is definitely as important as good quality paint.
So there you have it. We will demonstrate. We'll give you a couple action clips about how to spray, and keep in mind we'll show you some clips about the products we're using and the equipment we're using as well. But with that, let's get started.
All right, let's have some fun. So here we see Rob working his way across the front side of this house. He started at the top, the peak of the house, and he works back and forth, works side to side with the first coat, ensuring that he's keeping the same distance from the surface and the same speed. And then he goes back immediately the opposite direction and sprays it vertically, again with same speed, same distance from the surface, and that just ensures that all of the angles of the surface are going to be covered with enough paint. That way we know that everything's covered and that the paint will perform the best that it can.
Alright, so some final thoughts on exterior spraying. We've been through a number of processes. We washed it first with a great power washer. We came and we primed everything, scraped everything, sanded it down. Not in that particular order. In fact, we scraped it, sanded it, then primed it. And then today we actually went through and sprayed the finish coat. And what you saw is that one of the most important things with spraying is your speed and your accuracy. And we make it look simple because we've been doing this a really long time. But one of the challenges that most homeowners and do-it-yourselfers are going to have is timing the project, because it's going to take you some time, and making sure that you feel comfortable on the ladders and making sure you have a good quality equipment as well to use. And for me, the most important thing about the finished product is the number of years you're actually going to get. We have prepared this surface that it will last easily 10 years. You want to change the color before you have to deal with any maintenance issues, but that's how you're going to do it. Would you have anything to...
Well, the only thing I would add to that is that you want to make sure that you get a good even coat, and when you're spraying you want to keep it the same distance throughout, so you're not getting heavy spots and lighter spots. And then when you get sprayed once and you come back and you spray it again, get that second coat on to make sure that you get all of the different variations in the texture of the surface covered. So just 2 even coats, and I think, yeah, you got everything else.
That's a great point. In fact, Eric, what kind of machine are we using versus what a typical homeowner might be using?
Well, the machine that we have is it's a Spraytech airless machine, and it puts out about close to a gallon a minute. It's about 0.85 GPMs. And something that a typical homeowner, do-it-yourselfer might get is, you know, as far as gallons per minute, it's probably less than a third of that, and so you're just not getting much product onto the surface. That's why do-it-yourself projects sometimes may not last as long as a professional project would, just because of the amount of material that does get put on. So
that's an excellent comment. And again, don't skimp on the materials. The challenge that we see, in fact, this particular project looks like whoever painted it the first time either watered it down or didn't use enough product in the first place, or maybe even a combination of both. So use a good quality product, use enough of it to really get a good quality seal, and make sure that you take your time and pay attention to what your machine is pumping out. Because if it's like Eric said, if you're too close, it's going to spray a whole bunch. If you're too far away, it's not going to do much anything. So you got to get a nice, even fluidity to your motions.
Yep.
It's like a dance, isn't it?
Something like that.
All right. Well, till next time.